My obsession with all things cars started at an early age, as the family car was a '69 Camaro. However, things got tough, and it had to go up for sale. After years of hunting, I finally found one that I could afford. I brought it home immediately. One of these days, I will flick this key and put it in drive, and it'll be the best day of my life. To some, that might sound crazy, but to all the hardcore car people out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Which brings us to right here. Well, technically there. This 1969 Camaro I picked up. I've had some comments of people saying, you should scrap it. I wouldn't touch it. It's not worth fixing. Well, I think you're all crazy and also wrong. And let me tell you why. A, dream car. B, car that was kind of in our family once upon a time ago, but as previously stated, it had to go to make way for bigger and better bills, let's call it. However, it's a '69 Camaro. Everybody loves them. Like, this is basically Chevy's version of like a '70 Charger as far as I'm concerned. This is a Chevy that everyone has to have. But more than anything, I want to talk about, how I wound up with it. And everyone likes to, talk about, deals and whatnot that they get. I think I got a pretty good deal on this car, though. That's the only reason I have it. If it was a pile of money, I wouldn't have it. I was working out of town, and I had bought a 429 out of a '68 Thunderbird. I sent the wife to go and more or less do the deal / pick up the car with a friend of mine. And when she got there, I got a phone call, and she said, "You'll never believe what's here." So she sent me a bunch of pictures of this car right here. Obviously, this was missing. It came with the car, but it wasn't sitting on it. So I just started seeing pictures, and instantly I knew it was a '69 Camaro. And I thought, "Ooh, I have to have that. How much is it going to cost?" So she kind of went back and forth with the seller of the T-Bird and told us that it was his brother's car. So I thought, okay, well, maybe we can make a deal. So I ended up, getting his number and whatnot, getting a hold of him. And I figured, hey, you know what? Do you want to sell a car? He says, interested in selling it. It's been sitting for quite some time. So I was talking to his brother that originally made the deal with us with the engine out of the T-Bird. And he said, well, he paid $2,000 for the car. So I thought, oh, maybe I'll get it for $2,000. Wishful thinking, obviously, given the price of these things these days. So I get a hold of him, and I just tell him, hey, I heard you selling the car. Would you take $2,000 for it? And, I probably got what I deserved there, but he was pretty mad. He's like, absolutely not. There is zero chance that this car is leaving here for $2,000. Just not going to happen. At that point, I kind of thought like, oh, great. I, pissed him off. Deal's done. Not going to happen. I said, you're going to have to do better than that if you want this car. So I figured, okay, well, let me think on it. I'll call you back. So I, basically slept on it, trying to think of what I should offer him. And I thought maybe I should offer him, what I thought it was worth, like some crazy amount or something. And then I thought, maybe not. Let's see what happens, right? So I phoned him back. Next day, I say, would you take $2,500 for the car? And he says, yeah, I could do that. When you want to come pick it up? And I'm just jumping inside, basically, at this point, thinking like, hey, I finally found one that I can afford. And local to me, too. I didn't have to jump on a plane and travel 30 states or, halfway across the country or nothing like that. It was an hour away from my house, basically. So it worked out about as perfectly as it could, as far as I'm concerned. But the reason I'm telling you this is because we get hung up very often with the affordability and the price of these cars. You can see this on Bear Jackson go for $400,000 plus, but you know what? It's got that and more in especially labor, but just parts. You want an LS9 or you want any fancy engines, or LT4 is the fancy one right now. That's like $25,000, and that's not even installed. So if we push all those crazy things aside, and yes, these cars are fairly expensive in basically any condition, they can be affordable, and you can find one event at some point for the right price. I think the big issue that we find all the time actually is quote unquote, we call them flippers, and we've all, sold a car here and there, made some money, felt good about it. But there's people that just specifically do that, right? Who knows what this car might have been worth. I was thrilled to pay $2,500, but as I said, some of you think that it's worthless, it's garbage. It's better to be a brand new fridge somewhere after it gets crushed. Again, I think that's absolutely wild, but hey, to each their own, right? Um, but these deals are out there. You just got to get there before the people who are trying to make a living doing this stuff get there before you. And it's tough because they're always, they're actively looking. They know who to get a hold of, where to find them, or even just stuff on Marketplace like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, whatever. Any kind of a good deal is sold instantly. And if this car was posted online and I just didn't happen to literally, come up on it the way I did, I would have never got it. It would have sold to God knows who else. Probably would have been for sale for double or triple the money. I mean, I feel like it's worth, I don't know, something. I'm not sure. The market's changing all the time, so I like to think I'm well versed in it, but the internet constantly tells me that I know nothing other than how to fix stuff, and even then, I question myself based on how the internet is with that as well. But don't get discouraged. Moral of the story: don't get discouraged. You will find that car one day if you try hard enough, or maybe like me, on accident. And happy hunting.
And before I forget, like, comment, and subscribe. There's more to come. This is going to be eventually coming on. I was really hoping to get to it this week, actually. Because, God, I really want to drive this car. Like, I want to daily this car. But not yet. It's coming, though. Stay tuned.